How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Good to see you. It's early over here, 9 in the morning for us, so we're just getting started.
Yeah. I just finished a deadlift workout.
Oh, right on. We're gonna get in some grip and some bench today.
Yeah. I normally will follow that up with some grip work, but I'll go back out later this afternoon to do the grip. So,
Right on. What do you got on the menu for grip today?
well, the half penny pinch for sure. That I just got that thing, I think yesterday. So that'll be my first time trying that.
That's a fun lift.
No, it's not. I hate that lift.
Yeah, it's a love-hate thing, man. Some people love it, some people hate it, but you're either kind of really good at it right off the bat, or you just suck at it, and it's a lot of work to get good at it. Yeah, it's one of
Yeah.
those ones. So, I guess it just depends on how many people you pinched when you were younger with your thumb and finger, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you used to do competitive powerlifting, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, your story and how you used to compete, what you used to do in athletics.
So I started lifting weights. I was 11 years old, probably like 1982. Started lifting at my house. I have an older brother, 8 years older than I am, and he had some of those little plastic concrete filled weights, and that's what I started on. And then about a year later, I started at a gym. Um, it was just a local guy that started a gym, and that's where I went to work out. Um, and my brother had started about the same time I did and went to a different gym. Um, so even 8 years older than me, we both started lifting at about the same time. And he there was a group of power lifters that lifted where he trained, and both of us are kind of small. He started out at like 114 weight class. And just his influence is how I got started in powerlifting. Um, the gym that I went to had like an annual around December time holiday classic powerlifting meet just within the gym, and so non-sanctioned, and they were only bench press and deadlift. So for a few years, that was my powerlifting experience. And then I think my first sanctioned meet was in 1993, and it was an 80 FPA meet, which I don't know if you know what that is, but there's about 800 federations for powerlifting, which is kind of ridiculous. But 80 FPA was the premier drug tested federation at the time. It later turned into USA Powerlifting, which is now maybe the premier in the country, I guess, but for drug tested powerlifting. But anyway, so that was back in 1993. I was in the Navy at the time, so I actually was home on leave when I lifted in that meet. Trained for it at a on the base that I was on. I can't remember what my lifts were. They were okay. I was an okay local level lifter, and then as I got out of the Navy, came back to Central Indiana. And I can, like, around 99, 2000, I started training pretty seriously again. I never really took a lot of time off from training. I've been training since I was 11, basically with, no more than a year at a time off, just here and there maybe. But I definitely had periods of a lot more serious lifting than others. So around 2000, I started training really seriously again. Entered several powerlifting meets over the next probably 6 or 7 years. and I never did qualify for a national meet, but I was on the brink. So I did lift at
That's awesome.
bench press nationals, got fifth place at bench press nationals in Cleveland one year. But
yeah, that's crazy just to make the top 10 at nationals. That's what an achievement, you know? Yeah, because any one of those guys could beat any other one depending on who's having a good day.
yeah.
No, that's awesome. All right, so what motivated you to compete?
Again, I think it was just my brother's influence. I at an early age, like when I was competing in those the little gym meets, he was competing at the state level. Back in those days in Indiana, there were lots of meets you could go to, lots of really good meets with a lot of lifters in them. And so I would go and watch those meets and help them out and stuff. And that, I don't know, that was just what bit me. So.
Awesome. We've noticed that over here on the West Coast that there's definitely a bigger strength community back east than there is over here for sure.
I guess let's see, going back into the powerlifting, some of my best lifts, I lifted for the most part at 148 weight class. Best squat, I think, was around 485 or something. I actually got a 500 in the gym, and I got 500 at a meet. I did it 2 times at a meet and was called for depth both times. So, and I'm not disputing the call by any means, but I did go down and back up with it. It was just not a good lift. So.
It's a ton of weight. Yeah.
And then bench press, the most I got was 330, and deadlift I pulled a 500 in competition. So all at 148. So
wow,
pretty good.
And
pretty good local level stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's huge. Those are some big lifts for 148. Yeah.
I'm trying to do that at 275. So
I'm trying to do that again now. I'm not there yet, and let's see, like I weighing around 175, 180 now. A lot less useful weight than I had.
Yeah. Yeah. So what would you consider your greatest athletic achievement?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably not. I can't think of a single thing, but when I was in my prime in powerlifting, just hitting some of those meets that I did. The squat, I really loved the squat. Maybe hitting the 500-pound squat in the gym. That might be it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome at that weight. So what would you, on the opposite side, what would you consider your greatest blunder or injury?
About the same time, I tweaked my back. It was the same training cycle. So when I hit those lifts, the hitting 500 in the meet, both those were with a tweaked back. So I think they call it butt wink, where your hips kind of turn under. I think that's what caused it. So two of the times that I had 500 on my back and actually, and that's something that up until that point I felt bulletproof, and Since then, I mean, this was, I don't know how many years ago now, but several years ago, and I still deal with that. For a long time, I just thought I was done. But it took a long time to heal up, and it's never going to be perfect, but I feel like I can train smart enough now that I can pay attention to those things and not just go full force all the time, back it off when I need to. And I think I can hit good heavy squats again, good heavy deadlifts, and stay injury free. Yeah, it definitely makes you train smarter if you having an injury.
Yeah.
So when you were lifting, you blew out your lower back. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. From having the hips tucked under.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a problem that I've been trying to correct as well. I tend to do that just from guard position for martial arts all the time. You know, you stand in a fighting position, you tuck your hips under yourself because, you know, that way you can be more mobile. But then trying to correct that when you're in a squat position, you know, your mind naturally thinks, oh, I'm supposed to be in this guard position. But no, it's the exact opposite of what I'm supposed to do. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's something that I never really even paid attention to until that happened. And then you're suddenly ultra aware of how your hips are, you know, the position of your hips in a squat after you've hurt yourself. So,
Yeah.
Does it still bother you now?
oh yeah. Yeah. I can feel it right now. I mean, it's not preventing me from doing stuff, but I can feel it. I never, let's see, I actually went, had it x-rayed once at a chiropractor. And they didn't see any damage that stuck out to them. So I don't know exactly what it is, but hopefully I don't just go paralyzed one day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd
absolutely.
be horrible. Oh. So what is one of your current major athletic goals today?
I want to hit a raw 500 squat. That's like the first step. And I really want to go ahead and bump that up to a 600. That's a little bit kind of out there, but I should be able to hit that. I should be able to hit that with the weight that I'm at now, or maybe even a little heavier.
That's what I was going to ask, if weight was a consideration.
Just training smarter and being heavier, I should be able to hit higher numbers.
Absolutely.
So, but I haven't ever got back to 500 yet. So
It'll be an exciting day to see it when you post it, because you know it'll happen.
yeah. And then 400 bench is another goal. And then also I've been one of the things that's, I think, coming up here pretty soon is I want to pull a 405 double overhand on a regular bar.
Of
course. Of course. Yeah, we're all pretty far away on an axle at 400 pounds. That's a monster lift, but yeah, it's fun.
And it not at all making excuses here, but grip stuff for me is like about any time I could go, you know, from not training all that seriously, and I can put a lot of weight on my lifts and in about anything other than grip. Grip does not come naturally or easy to me. And my hands are really small. So that's another factor. So I think a 400, 405 double overhand deadlift on a regular bar is a pretty good goal for me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then whenever I hit that, we'll just see how far I can go with it.
Yeah, that double overhand really taxes the grip for sure.
Yeah. Today I pulled a 365.
Nice.
So
That's pretty good.
Getting closer.
Yeah.
So what are some lifestyle habits you subscribe to that may benefit the average person trying to get healthy or fit?
Train regularly. If we're talking average people that don't currently work out, start. If you don't know what you're doing, start. I think the biggest thing is just start. Whatever aspirations you have, start, and then figure it out along the way. More than likely, you're not going to kill yourself by not knowing what you're doing, but you'll learn. Don't try to learn first and then start. Sometimes that's a good idea to have a plan on what you're doing, but usually people are just apprehensive about starting whatever kind of new activity it is. Just go. That would be my advice. And then learn along the way. And then also when you're learning, like most of us are probably going to be learning from the internet. Take it for what it is. It's information off the internet.
Right.
So it might be good and it might not be good. Try different things that you've learned off the internet, and some of it'll work and some of it won't. And just use what works for you.
Right.
Yeah, you made a good point about just getting started, even if you don't know what you're doing, because I think your body will tell you if you're doing something wrong. So if you just make sure you have that awareness when you get started and pay attention, then you'll probably stay injury free for the most part. If you aren't going to start with weights, it's going to throw you into injury right away. So
I also think that's along with that, just starting. I mean, it's easier to form the habit to just start and then to implement what you learn, because you already have the habit of actually working out and training, versus let's try to learn a bunch of stuff and then implement all of that at the same time that I'm trying to form a new habit of working out.
it's a good way to get overwhelmed.
Yeah. And that's another thing too. Like if someone is interested in starting powerlifting, something that, like back in the 90s, are you guys very familiar with powerlifting at all? And
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
there used to be a magazine called Powerlifting USA, a magazine that was like in paper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
And West Side Barbell Louis Simmons used to put all these articles in there, and it was for me really hard to try to figure out what he was talking about. And I understand it now, and it's complex, but it's not nearly as complex as what I thought it was. But then they talk about, bands and chains and percentages and all this stuff. Don't get all worked up over that stuff. When you need to know that stuff, you'll figure it out. But if you're overwhelmed with it, you probably don't need to know it.
Right. So speaking of learning and implementing new things, what training methods or techniques have you stumbled upon that have significantly increased your performance compared to like conventional methods?
Training secrets.
What has always worked for me, and I usually do some sort of something like this, but 5 sets of 5. That's like really basic, really old, but that's what built a really good base for me on bench press, squat.
We actually started with the 5x5 before we moved into the modern training styles with the light and explosive, and then the heavy weights on some days and all that. We started with the basic 5x5 to build our foundation.
Yeah, that's exactly what we started with, was the good old 5x5 program.
And something that's helped since I've started getting older, and then also to work around my lower back, I just started implementing the double overhand deadlift. So I didn't do that at first to start to work my grip. I did that first to add a limiting factor. So I could still pull really hard, but it saved my back. You know, it wasn't my back that was pulling really hard. I could strain hard, and I got that. I got that out of my system, I guess. The desire to really strain.
Mhm.
I was really straining, but it was my grip, not my back. And then I would just pull heavy, maybe once a month or so. So definitely, as I've aged, I have to back off. I used to be able to just go 100% all the time. Now I gotta, like, that's part of training smarter. I have to back it off, let myself heal up. So that, I guess that's another thing that's definitely helped me.
Yeah, I like that idea. That's a good bit of advice, that putting in a limiting factor so you can still having the means of getting the satisfaction out of going 100%. I think that's great.
And then this is something that I've just picked up from other guys that are good at lifting, powerlifting, just being strong, but varying the bars, varying the way you do different lifts, so that you're not, you might be doing a bench press, once or twice a week, but if you change the bar, change the way you do it, you're saving a lot of wear and tear on your shoulders, elbows, so that kind of thing as well. And that's part of why I have such a big collection of stuff, is so that I have more ways of doing things, and I like it. So I like having stuff.
What's your favorite piece of equipment?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I like to use the safety squat bar a lot. I don't know about a favorite single piece. I like all of it. It's my system, I guess.
Yeah.
So what's the weather like right now there?
It's pretty cold. It's maybe 25, I think.
And you work out in the gym or out in the garage?
Yeah, I've got a heater out there, but it doesn't heat the floor. That's the biggest.
Oh, yeah, we have a tiny heater as well, and it doesn't do hardly anything. So I was going to ask you, like, is there anything special you do for cold weather working out?
Yeah, just the heater. But what the one special thing I do, which probably looks ridiculous to people, but I work out a lot in Crocs, and I've tried a bunch of different. I like Crocs anyway. I didn't buy them specifically for this, but they definitely insulate your feet a lot. That's one of the worst. Yeah, that's one of the worst things. Your feet just go numb almost, and then I don't know. But with the Crocs, yeah, works pretty good. Yeah. So far, I've not had any problems with with footing on deadlifts or squats, or I don't know.
That's why on weekends when we work out early, you'll see me in a hoodie and pajama pants because it's warm. It's like 35 out here, and
I've seen a few of the guys using them power Crocs online. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, when I first started working out in my garage back in it was in 2000 actually. I didn't have a heater, and I was working out in sweatpants and a winter coat. I mean, it was freezing. And like when I first started my home gym, all I had was just a barbell, and I bought a barbell and 500 pounds of weight. So for probably 6 months, that's all I had. So I deadlifted, barbell rows, and overhead press, that kind of stuff. That's all I was able to do. And then me and my brother started building some equipment to start using. So
that's awesome. I noticed your brother's online and he has a gym as well.
we work out together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we live in the same town, and we've pretty well, since I was in high school, worked out together. There was a period of time I was in the Navy, and then when I came back, we started working out again together. So, and I started my own gym. Well, yeah, I started my own gym because, I wanted to buy a gym. I wanted that to be my job. And I just never did make that happen. And I'm actually kind of glad now, but
Yeah.
we were spending like 3 hours a night, 3 days a week at the gym, and had small kids, both of us. And so I thought, well, I can spend a little more than a membership fee and start buying some stuff. And then I can spend that time here, and I can have my kids in the garage with me if I want. So
Yeah.
that was the main reason to transition. And also at about the same time I started buying weights, the gym that I did work out at, I was trying to buy it, and he ended up selling it to someone else. And when that happened, I mean, it was still open and everything, but I'm like, I'm just going to start a garage gym. And that now is the favorite place I've ever trained is in my garage.
Okay. So what did you build that afterward you stepped back and looked at and said, wow, that was cool. I did a good job on that one. What was your best thing that you built that impressed you the most? Ours are our concrete blobs, by the way. We're really stoked with our concrete blobs, man. These turned out so good. Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool. I like those. I think probably, well, this summer or last summer, I guess, I was off work for coronavirus shutdown for a while. And I built, let's see, 45-degree hyperextension, glute ham raise, adjustable incline bench.
Nice, man.
Awesome. I think, and I built a bunch of bars. I built a angled grip multi-bar, and I built a 1.5 inch axle bar. I had a 2-inch axle bar. I wanted something between the regular standard bar. Yeah. So yeah. And then I built some other stuff for other people.
That has that bar. That's crazy. I've never even heard that. It's a good idea going in between those two sizes. That's awesome. That's neat. And I find the inch stuff a little bit big for sure. I hang around 2-inch axle and 2-inch diameter on a lot of my pulls because the inch dumbbell size is just insane. It's crazy. It's like a pinch lift for me, basically.
Yeah, I have an inch dumbbell in the garage. Actually, I wouldn't have bought it. The guy that used to work out here was really good at grip, and he bought it and just left it in here. So, I mean, I assume it's mine. If he ever wants it, he can come get it. But
yeah, it just sits there probably.
I really thought I would never have any shot at lifting it, but I'm starting to think, maybe there's a chance, but
that's cool.
I don't know. I'm easily 100. I'm probably 60 pounds off from it.
Yeah.
So
I've never got my hands on a real one. On the replica we have, we can pull like 110. So yeah, 60 pounds off.
Something that I've made that's real simple to make, that has helped me with that. Those little spin lock dumbbells.
Okay.
The 1-inch, you can buy them at Walmart.
Yeah, with the spin lock ends on them. Okay. Those caps.
You just put, depending on what size it is, but you get some PVC and maybe some duct tape, and then 2-inch pipe, or you could use 2-inch PVC or whatever. The OD on that is just under 2.5, something like that. But just tape it up so that that will slip over there, and make sure it's longer than the inside collars on the handle, on the spin lock handle, so that the plates will push up against it, and then you can lock it down, tap it with a hammer or whatever so that it is solid.
That's a good idea.
I've got about 4 of those so that I can have different weights loaded up and mess around with them. But that works pretty good.
Yeah,
and
that would
inexpensive.
Stop rotation pretty good too.
Yeah. I don't know what all kind of questions that you guys have got lined up, but I'm thinking on stuff I would recommend to people that are wanting to train at home.
Well, absolutely.
First, learn how to do stuff like around your house, plumbing, whatever. I mean, you don't have to be a plumber. You don't have to be able to tear a wall out and all that, but just work with your hands so that you know how to make something, because you can make stuff way, way cheaper than you can buy it. And you don't need to have a welder and all that stuff. But if you can work with a hammer and, a hacksaw, whatever, you can make all sorts of things. And then from there, you can build onto your tool collection, your skill set, and you can make even more stuff. Like when
We're fortunate that our father owned a construction company. That's why we built so many things and showed off so many DIY projects, because that's what we thought to do when we started a home gym. Yeah. Really good advice.
Yeah, you can go broke buying equipment, or you can make it, and depending on your skill set, you don't have to make as much. You might be able to buy some stuff, but you don't have to buy all of it. I buy the stuff that I can't make. I can't make like barbells. I can make some bars. I can't make, like a competition powerlifting bar. I can't make that. Actually, I think I'm getting ready to buy one of those Mars bars. I don't know if you know what that is.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
It's like a, what a safety squat bar is?
Yeah.
It's a variation on that. And the bar sits lower on your back. It's kind of like, it's a yoke bar, but the position is a little bit different. Okay. So I can't make that. I'll buy that. I can't make weights, so I buy those. So, but I'm pretty well done buying weights. I got lots of weights.
Yeah, we're in the same ballpark. We, built everything we possibly can and bought what we couldn't, and it's such a saver, especially in grip sport alone. I mean, everything's ridiculously expensive in the grip sport.
Yeah. Some of the stuff.
Really, go ahead.
I was going to say some of the stuff you got to buy so that it's standard. If you want to compete with other people online or whatever, you got to, if you want to actually be on their leaderboards and stuff, you need to have the real thing. So
we'll just send you them. They're golden potatoes,
Yeah, absolutely. We made most of the equipment close replicas of the real stuff. But yeah, if we're going to start competing in it, we'll slowly start buying piece by piece the stuff we'll actually need. But that's the thing, is you can build the stuff and prepare on the replicas that are really close, like our replica flask. I mean, it's really close to the real thing. So like we'll train on something like this, which is basically a flask. I mean, it's the right width and everything, and it works just fine. It's just built out of some wood rounds. And when we go on the actual flask, of course, the texture is a little bit different, but I mean, it's the same lift. You're getting the technique down, you're getting the motions down. So that's what matters.
Yeah.
The point I was going to say about building stuff that's really cool is you can also make it to your size.
Yeah.
You can modify it just a slight bit to where it works better for you than the stuff you'd actually buy. And
then also you can invent things. I mean, all sorts of things. I mean, not invent really to sell, but you can try out different things, and some things will work really good and some things won't. And yeah, there's, if you have the means and the stuff to build things, then when you are training and you think, well, I think I'd like to try something like this, I can just go make it. I can sketch it out or whatever, and then just in the next day or two, I can have one. So.
Exactly. This guy wanted a fatter wrist wrench, so we built one right up.
That's right.
Yeah. So
You make those as big as they make PVC. So
yeah, exactly. Let's see. So if you could start your training all over again now with the knowledge you have, what would you do differently? Why?
If I could start over knowing what I know now, first off, I would intend to get a whole lot bigger. I lifted at 148 because I had the mindset, well, I gotta stay small. If I start getting big, I don't think I can lift as much in comparison. And so I stayed at 148. Well, I could have got a whole lot bigger and I would have still progressed in strength as well. Maybe pound for pound, it wouldn't have been the same, but yeah, that really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have eaten smarter and with the purpose of getting bigger. I would have, I think I would have changed the way that I squatted. Like when I thought I squatted great, and then I learned I squatted really deep, but I didn't squat with my hips back. I squatted with my knees way forward past the balls of my feet. I would have started, I mean, that pulls in the glutes and hamstrings a whole lot more when you squat with your hips back. I would have done that much earlier. Well, from the get-go. And that would have made my overall squat weight way higher. I don't know. I think about that all the time. If when I was actually really strong in my prime, I was as knowledgeable as I am now, it would have been a lot more fun. I had a lot of fun anyway, but it's always fun when you're stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more information out there for the new generation. They just have to find what information actually works, what's the BS and what's not. And that's why we're trying to talk to guys like you, so we can get some good information out to people. For sure. So what's any other advice you have for people at home that are trying to get fit?
Consistency, I think, is the key. You don't have to know what you're doing, but move consistently. And then as you're doing that, learn how to do it right. But consistency is the key. There's a whole lot of ways to get strong. And there's not one specific way that is best. I guess as you get more and more elite or higher level, you need to narrow how you do it. The way becomes a lot narrower, I guess. But when you're first starting, just move, pick up something heavy and do it a lot and do it consistently. Don't just pick it up, once a month. Do it consistently. That's the key.
Awesome. Okay, good advice.
Definitely. So I think that's it for our questions. We really appreciate you coming on here and talking to us and giving advice. So we're going to turn it over to you. Anything you want to mention, anything you want to plug, any other things you want to say or whatever, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to plug. I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot more. I just enjoy training. I enjoy, interacting with folks like you on Instagram or whatever, and learning and the camaraderie. I enjoy that a whole lot. So it's about, I don't know, it's about it.
That's one serendipity we really found out is just how awesome the community's been getting into, grip and powerlifting and stuff, and just putting ourselves out there on Instagram. It's just everybody's so welcoming and they have so many ideas. So it's been great.
Yeah. Yeah. I've learned a lot on grip and powerlifting from social media. So yeah, it's definitely helped me. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Instagram's starting to become the new grip board, at least in the grip community. Yeah.
Yeah, the
more information coming up on there than anywhere else.
The grip board, that, yeah, I can't even remember when I got on the grip board. It was long before Facebook was around.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess the way I got into grip, that wasn't even anything that people didn't train grip. I mean, the gym that I started working out at, I was, I think I was in 6th grade when I first started at the gym, and it was a old school black iron gym. It was really cool. I just thought all gyms were like that. But it wasn't, nobody trained grip there. It just wasn't a thing. And then I can't remember whenever they started playing World's Strongest Man on ESPN.
Yeah.
I started researching that.
Yeah.
And came across Iron Mind, and that's how I discovered grip. And I'm like, well, that seems like a pretty good idea. Probably ought to do that. So
Yeah.
Anyway, and then from there, that led me to the grip board. And then you get on that thing and it's just loaded with information. And back then there was not a lot of photos or anything on there. It was, you had to read everything. And
Yep. There were a few top dudes you needed to pay attention to.
yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Some of those,
I was on
some
there
of those,
for days.
yeah.
Paul Knight was doing his number 4 closes, so long ago. It was awesome watching those guys. Yeah,
And some of the top guys are still out there, still the top guys. So
yeah, Aaron Corcoran, he's still out there destroying. So that's awesome. Jed Johnson, of course, will probably be doing it until he's 90.
yeah.
That's good stuff.
Oh, I was going to mention something.
For sure.
What's that?
We enjoy seeing your grip collection for sure. You have some good stuff.
Oh, thank you. We've talked on Instagram back and forth about squatting heavy weight and stuff. Something that's I think very similar to squatting a really heavy weight is bending something really, really hard. Very, very similar level of concentration and focus. And takes maybe a little bit longer to bend something than to squat 1 rep.
Yeah.
But that first hit, I mean, you got to hit it with the same intensity that you would hit a max squat.
Yeah. Position is just as important, it seems, in bending as in squat. How important the exact right positioning is, because power increases exponentially if you get the position right in a bend.
Yeah, exactly. And same thing I've talked about on that, just starting. That's kind of how I started bending. Just start. I tried doing what I saw and I could bend some stuff. And then when I started really studying and listening, reading, I was able to really increase what I was able to bend. So I haven't done bending for a long time. So yeah, I don't even know what I can do now. The most I got to before I was able to bend a double overhand 6-inch grade 5 bolt. I was able to get under 2 inches, and then I was able to kink a grade 8 bolt. So
Okay. Yeah.
okay, I was okay at it, but it's fun.
Yeah, those graded bolts are, I mean, that's when it starts getting pretty tough. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it was great to have you on. We'll be sending you out some golden potatoes soon. We can't wait to see what you can do with those. Yeah.
Yep, looking forward to it. Yeah.
Right on. All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
All right. Yep. Thank you.
You have a great day.
Yep.